person had a major disability and needed that seat, and rather being a good human being giving it up, OP made all sorts of excuses. What is this, elementary school? I wouldn't even pass this off to the managers on this case. This is strictly OP, and yeah, a disgusting move on her part, blocking someone who really needed that seat. Hello my fellow toasties. If you clicked this video, I hope you're having a wonderful day, getting some needed chores done, or maybe you're just relaxing. So let's get in some tea together. Am I the a-hole for refusing to let my deaf co-worker switch seats with me? I work in an open office tech company. Our team recently brought in a new hire. I'll call her Kara, who is deaf. She seems cool and our company has been great about providing interpreters and tech accommodations. Here's the thing, Kara was originally placed at the far end of our row near a wall. Apparently, the placement makes it harder for her interpreter to sit next to her and for her to read lips in our group discussions. So her manager sent out a friendly office-wide email asking if anyone near the center row would be willing to temporarily swap desks with Kara for a few weeks while we sort out a permanent solution. I sit in literally the most central seat in our whole row, right in front of the whiteboard where our team meets informally several times a week. The thing is, I fought hard for this seat. When we first moved to this floor, sitting was kind of a free-for-all, and I came in early for a week just to claim it. I'm one of the few people on my team who prefers being in the middle of everything. It helps me stay in the loop, and I honestly like hearing the chatter.
Sure, Jan.
So I didn't respond to the email. A few others did, but they were on other teams on less ideal spots. A day later, Kara came over to me directly and asked very nicely if I would consider swapping. I was polite but honest. I said I really rely on my spot to stay productive.
Sure, Jan.
And that I wasn't comfortable moving indefinitely. She seemed disappointed, but said she understood. Yesterday, our team leader pulled me aside and said Kara has been having trouble following discussions and talked to me about team cohesion and how if I was a little bit more flexible, it would mean a lot to her. I asked why I had to be the one to move, and he just kind of shrugged and mentioned that I hadn't said no outright. Now some coworkers are being weirdly short with me, and one even made a snide comment about how I value the swivel chair more than our coworker. I get that Kara's situation isn't her fault, and I do want her to feel included, but I also don't think it's fair to pressure one person to give something up that everyone else could have offered too. Okay, before I give my 2 cents, let's see what others had to say. You're the a-hole, this one line seals it. I do want her to feel included. It's not about her feeling included. It's about being able to accurately communicate with and understand her surroundings. Do you think disabled people get accommodations to feel included? Or so they literally don't get pushed out of a job and larger society due to lack of accessibility? Mild, you are the asshole. It's not a permanent thing, and she actually needs the seat, you just want it. Kara's manager, and maybe yours too, not clear, is the bigger a-hole in this though. Asking for volunteers at the start was okay, but when no one volunteered, they should have told someone to move rather than being passive aggressive about it. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the hard, yeah, the OP is definitely a-hole here. The person had a major disability and needed that seat, and rather being a good human being giving it up, OP made all sorts of excuses. What is this, elementary school? I wouldn't even pass this off to the managers on this case. This is strictly OP, and yeah, a disgusting move on her part, blocking someone who really needed that seat. Am I the a-hole for making a joke about my pregnant sister-in-law, or is my brother overreacting? I, 32 male, am child-free. I always thought my brother would be too, but he actually really likes kids. I always thought my sister-in-law must be behind him fitting like that, but he says he's the one who really wants them. But I don't know if I believe that honestly. She's currently pregnant with her second child, and they already have a 1-year-old. They were over to celebrate our dad's birthday, and my mom told my sister-in-law she was sure she was exhausted, and to sit down and rest and not help with the dishes. I fake pouted and jokingly asked why she offered the bereavement rest and not her son who's been helping her all day. I expected my mom to laugh and sort of swat my shoulder like she usually would, but it was silent. My brother asked me what the F did I just say about his wife. I laughed it off and said take it easy, it was just a joke. He demanded I explain what was funny about calling his wife a broodmare. By that point, I was irritated and said they're the ones who thought our popping kids close together was a smart idea, and at this point that's what she essentially was. He called me a disgusting immature a-hole for how I spoke about his wife. My dad told me to leave and my mom refuses to answer any calls and texts other than ones who tell me she's disappointed in me. I really thought my family was just overreacting, but now several of my friends are saying I was being an a-hole to my sister-in-law, and there was no reason for me to say that. I really was just kidding though. Am I really the a-hole just because my joke fell flat? Look man, this is so cut and dry. But before I weigh in, let's see what the comments say. So his brother really likes kids, but his sister-in-law must be behind him feeling like that? Why? Why is he not allowed to like kids? Unless his wife orchestrated it. Interesting, he admits this is a mutual decision, but blames the sister-in-law, and the sister-in-law is the one he's insulting. And then I read his other post, the one where he lost his job, refused to start looking because my girlfriend makes enough she can cover the bills, and demanded a steak dinner she couldn't afford while doing absolutely nothing around the house. I'm pretty damn sure this guy's a misogynist who thinks women are meant to serve, and if they don't, like with his ex-girlfriend and his sister-in-law, he can treat them like shit. A misogynist narcissist who clearly don't like women or able to put himself in other shoes. Yeah, that second comment really gives some insight to him. I don't think, it's a fact at this point, that the OP is a sexist, misogynist, narcissistic a-hole. When people say, oh, there's just a joke, it's because they want to cover what's truly on their mind, take the mask completely off, and be just a complete, well, a-hole. Yeah, terrible and disgusting that he called her that. He's a horrible so far. Am I the a-hole for showing up to my boyfriend's surprise birthday party, even though his girl best friend didn't invite me? I, 27 female, have been dating my boyfriend for about a year. Everything's good overall, except there's always been this one weird dynamic. His extremely close girl best friend, T. They've known each other forever and claim it's totally platonic. I've always tried to be cool about it, made an effort, invited her out, etc. Anyway, his birthday was last weekend. I had no idea anything was happening until his roommate texted me, asking if I was coming to a bar named that night. I had no clue what he was talking about, and he was shocked I didn't know it was a surprise party that T had planned. So I showed up alone, obviously, and T looked genuinely surprised to see me. She literally said, oh, I didn't know roommate told you. No apology, no oops, nothing. I stayed, mostly to avoid drama on my boyfriend's birthday, but the whole thing was awkward. I sat off to the side with some random cousin while T gave a whole speech about how no one understands him like she does. Cool. Later I brought it up to my boyfriend, and he said it wasn't that deep, and that maybe he just assumed he had told me. But it's his surprise party. Wouldn't you assume your girlfriend should be there? Now I'm wondering if I should have just left the second I found I wasn't actually invited. I feel weirdly guilty, but also humiliated. Yeah, that's all really weird. I think the best friend's in love with him. Let's see what the comments say. No girl, something seems really fishy about her, and your boyfriend being so nonchalant about it is also really weird. You, his girlfriend, weren't invited to his surprise party by the person organizing it? It's definitely on purpose. And the way she is acting, the whole I'm the only one who understands him is really kind of weird. I'm just getting some bad vibes. I think more discussion needs to be had with you and your boyfriend, but definitely keep an eye on her because she seems really off to me. This whole situation is weird. It's clear she intended for you not to be there at her own boyfriend's birthday party. You are not the a-hole girl, but she definitely is though, and I would mention more to your boyfriend about how she was acting, especially if the behavior does concern you. You should make your feelings heard. Yep, OP needs a serious chat with BF ASAP. His girlfriend clearly crossed a line to publicly humiliate you and ice you out. Despite boyfriend's attempt to minimize, this was a proactive step intended to sow dissent in the relationship. I would tell boyfriend she feels hugely insulted, and she's not moving past this until this is addressed directly. He needs to acknowledge his friend crossed the line and either take a giant step back from that relationship as a consequence, or OP takes a break and reevaluate the situation in light of his apparent priorities. He's gaslighting and disrespecting you. Let T keep it. Break up with him and tell him it's not that deep, not the a-hole. Yeah, this sounds like a 1980s bad rom-com movie, where the best friend's always in love with the main character. Now, he might be naive. Like, I'm personally terrible when it comes to receiving signals, but you can't use that excuse here. I agree with the commentators. She's not the a-hole. I think the boyfriend knew, but instead just gaslit her. Anyways, let's just do one more. Am I the a-hole for telling my girlfriend first come, first serve? So my 27 male girlfriend, 26 female, was bugging me yesterday about me not being a virgin like her. This type of behavior was normal from her as she teases me time to time, but mostly harmless. She grew up in a strict Christian household, so of course she wanted to do it after marriage. While I, raised under a Christian household but not as strict as hers, had some freedom of what religion I wanted to believe in. But this has nothing to do with religion, so I won't continue about it. So what I was saying is we've been dating for about a year and a half now, and we've only had great times. Sure, we had a couple of fights here and there, but what couple doesn't? Right about our first date, I was upfront about me not being a virgin, and what other beliefs people share around their first dates and other boring stuff. So cutting till yesterday, we were home alone, and I was in the living room binge watching random shows on Netflix, when she came out of our room and stood in the kitchen making dinner. She left the pot on for the food to cook and sat next to me on the couch. Regular day for the both of us, and then started teasing me about not being clean like her. I was like whatever and joked to her and said first come, first serve. She stared at me and went to her room. That was at 8 p.m. and right now it's 2 a.m. with the room's door still locked. Did I mess up? This is a really weird story. I don't think it's a joking matter. I don't think she should have been teasing you about it in the first place, but let's see what the comments say. Strictly speaking, no. People who obsess over virginity one way or another are weirdos. Do you and leave others in peace. It's not an achievement. It's not clean or pure. Nobody cares. Not the a-hole. If she can dish it out, she should learn to take it. Men get bashed all the time for caring about the body count of their partners. The rule goes both ways. What happened before your relationship should be of no concern. Yeah, I really love those last two comments. Especially that very last one. That sums it up very nicely. So yeah, not the a-hole. Do you think she overreacted? Let me know below. We did reach the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe and hit that bell. And remember to hit that hype button to help out my small channel. Or go check out some other videos on this channel. But until then, and always stay